First thing we're going to do, we're going to create a first guide. You guys know, if you guys been following me for a while, you guys know I like to create my first guide using my clipper, not my trimmer. And the reason behind it is because to me it's a lot easier to remove a guide if I'm using the same tool that I used to create it. So in this case, I'm using the clipper to create the guide, and it's going to be the same clipper or a clipper, it doesn't matter, to remove it, right? That's the way I look at it. If you create your guide with a trimmer, you are going to use your trimmer most likely to be able to remove that guide. You can see the low fade follows the bottom part of the head. So in this case, we're going to follow the hairline kind of to create that shape, right? That I'm not going too low on the back. As you can see, I went a little bit higher than with the hairline, and the reason is because the client didn't want it super low on the bottom, on the back, but he still wanted to be like a drop fade. So in this case, now I'm using my trimmer. If I use the trimmer in the opposite direction to create a guide, and then use the same to remove all the hair. And now I'm using my shaver to shave the bottom. Obviously, don't go all the way to the top on the first guide. Leave a little bit of space so you start creating that blend. Now open the clipper and create a guide. This guide is going to be probably around a finger's width, but it also depends, right? If the client's head is a little bit bigger, then you want to create this guide maybe a little bit like wider. But if the client has a smaller head, then make the adjustment and create the guide a little bit smaller, right? Now I'm using my this clipper just because it has a lot of power, but any clipper will work just to create the clipper over comb. And I'm setting up my shape, but you can see, look at the position of the comb. It's at an angle, and the reason is because I do want to build weight. I want it to be longer towards the top, so I'm creating an angle with it. And all I'm doing is trying to connect that top to the bottom. In this case, is going to be around like a number 1.5 or so by the time I'm done clipper over combing. So it makes it a lot easier if you use a lot of clipper over comb or scissor over comb, because it's going to be super easy to connect the top with the sides, since the comb is giving you the angle, and also you don't have to use that many clips. So right now I switched my clippers, and the reason is because the other one got a little bit hot. So I'm using right now the Babyliss Low Pro. And by the way, all the tools that I'm using, I'm going to leave the link in the description for them. And also I have a discount code with Babyliss and with Stylecraft and Gamma. So also if you guys are interested in getting any of these clippers, then might as well use the discount code and save some money. So now I was using the 1.5 with the lever open. Now I'm using the 1.5 with the lever closed. And all I'm doing right now is connecting what I created with the clipper over comb to the fade, right, to the blend part. Now I'm jumping to the 1/16 or the half, or I know in some companies it's the 0. So what I'm doing with this is connecting to the 1.5 and using the lever open. So I always start with lever open, and I close that lever little by little, because you can see in some parts I'm gonna have to use more of the corners just to be able to have more control of what I'm doing. In other parts I'm gonna be able to use the whole blade. This is very important that you keep in mind, because in some parts, if you use the whole blade, you might make a hole or might take that fade a little bit higher than you want it. So it's important to understand that whatever the head rounds or switches the planes, it's important to you adjust the tool that you're using to be able to compensate for that. Now I'm continuing with the same steps. I'm using the 1/16 or the half with the lever open, and then I'm closing it little by little as I see fit. Very important that you keep in mind that with this guard, if you close it sometimes all the way, you might make a little bit of a hole. So you close it as you need it. If you feel that you need to close it more, then close it. But if you don't, then just don't close all the way. Now I'm using the Low Pro with the lever open, and then I'm closing that lever little by little. How I was talking about before, every client is going to have a different head shape, different type of hair. different way that the bones protrude. All that stuff makes a big difference when you create a fade. So make sure you use your mirror or grab a phone and see how it looks on the camera. And then that's going to give you a better eye of in case that you might not see something that is there, right? To create the shape up, I'm using the Stylecraft Evo, and how I said, everything that I use is going to be in the description, plus the discount codes as well. This is a really good trimmer, and I changed the blade for the Saber blade, which in my opinion is the best trimmer blade, and it does create very, very nice slice. How you can see, the goal that we have for this haircut was to create a very compressed fade that create a lot of weight towards the middle of the head, especially on the back as well. And on the top, we cut it, we created some texture, and it looks very nice. One style. This is a very nice haircut. I love doing low fades. I don't get a lot of low fades in the shop, to be honest with you, but I do love to do them because they grow very nicely, and I just like the shape and creating leaving a lot of weight on the sides. I really love how haircuts look like that. In this case, I didn't shape up the beard much, just the top line, because the bottom the client took it a little bit too high, so we're gonna let it grow. That's why it's not as defined, but we did shape it up a little bit to create a nice sharp look. At the top, I apply a little bit of clay, something a little dry, to be able to style the hair, but also look very natural. And I think this is a very nice low fade. I actually very, very happy the way that this came out, because low fades, you guys know, they're not easy to do. This is how the client looked before, and this is how the client looks now. You guys know low fades are not easy just because you gotta compress everything, but I'm very happy the way it looked. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I hope this video was very helpful. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and don't forget to subscribe and like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.